Welcome to the Dan Stevens Show. Very special episode for you today. With me, I have Raven.
That's right.
Raven,
it's me.
Introduce yourself. I think you do a better job introducing yourself than
Absolutely.
I ever could.
No worries, Dan. So I'm Raven. I am a stand-up comedian, originally from Los Angeles, based in Dublin, / internet personality, making TikToks. Made a bunch of TikToks once. Got mildly micro famous from it, took a long break from it, started doing stand-up comedy, met Dan Stevens at several shows, of course, and found out that we both have a love for a lovely certain American reality show called 90 Day Fiancé.
Yes. Now, to describe 90 Day Fiancé for the viewers and listeners, it's, I don't know what, I was trying to think about it this morning, what sparked my fascination with it. I think it's definitely a mixture of online dating and long distance relationships, and how this show captured all of the complications that can arise from those situations, and how different cultures clash, different personalities clash from different cultures, and that just got me hooked straight away. I think I've watched 3 full seasons, and I said my mother actually got me into it at the start, and I ask her whenever I'm feeling like a bit of a binge watch of it. I ask her and I say, which season now, ma'am?
Very nice.
And she's like, 8. You need to check out 8. So I said it to Raven. I was like, right, you watch season 8 as well, and then we'll do a podcast about it. So what I'm saying is, basically, I think this is relatable for anyone who's interested in dating dynamics, people, absurd behaviour.
Extreme absurd behavior, absolutely.
Yeah, and what people who are desperate for love are willing to put up with.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. So I got into the show back in high school, so if you can't tell by my lovely voice, I am American.
She's from L.A., everybody.
I'm from L.A.
Yeah.
Nothing like Emma on the show this season, or Rick. I don't think they did L.A. people justice this time.
We'll talk about that.
We absolutely will. I just don't think they never pick L.A. people, because we're mostly interested in being famous and being on camera, and fairly plastic, so therefore willing to give reality TV whatever they want. But so for me, I got into 90 Day Fiancé back in high school. So a lot of the YouTubers at the time, this would have been like 2016, were doing like review content online.
Okay.
So they were watching the show, or like taking clips and then watching it themselves and like commentating over it. And so I started getting into it like from there. And then I was actually just watching the show myself, because it's exactly that outrageous behavior, so many different like cultures clashing, people like, why are so many old white women going to Nigeria?
Yeah.
And this has happened so many times on this show. And I've been watching now for about 10 years, so much so that I have a pretty good knack at predicting where the American is going to go, especially on like before the 90 days or 90 days the other way, where they're moving to the country.
Okay.
Like if I see an old white dude, I know it's going to be the Philippines. And I've been correct 90% of the time.
Or Thailand.
Philippines, because they want like the trad wife.
Yeah.
If it's an old white lady, she probably going to Nigeria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like to be satisfied.
There you go. Exactly. They're going to Nigeria. They're like, clearly he's in love with me. And it's like the most beautiful man you've like ever seen, and she's like, she's someone's grandma. Like, I'm sorry,
I know, it's crazy.
It's wild.
That's, I think, for anyone who doesn't know what the show is, it is basically the one that we're focusing on, 90 Day Fiancé, before the 90 days, focuses on American people traveling to other countries to get to know people.
Yeah, the fiancé.
To decide if they want to bring them to America to do the 90 days.
Exactly.
In which then they can get a visa to get engaged.
Exactly.
So it's that process.
Yeah, the K1 visa process. So essentially, I'm not a legal expert, but you essentially go, you meet your person, you apply for their visa, then you have 90 days to wed in America to get that sorted, to get the green card going. Then there's a spousal visa where you'd marry that person in their country, and then you can bring them over, but it takes longer. It's a more expensive process. So a lot of these couples are going for the K1 visa because it's a little bit faster and it's a little bit kind of more expedited, if you will, but it's still very expensive, as one of the couples discovers this season as well.
Yeah. Now, let me just ask you a question.
Yeah.
So you were born and bred in L.A.?
Born and bred in L.A., so I'm...
just a question about L.A. Honestly, this just popped into my head. But do you think Hollywood was born in L.A. because of the people of L.A.? Or do you think Hollywood was in LA and then the people acted Hollywood, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I see what you mean. That's actually a really good question because so I
Do you
didn't.
think Hollywood is a result of the personalities of the people of LA? Or is it the other way around?
Well, so I actually did my master's in film studies. So
Oh.
Hollywood, if we go back to like the history of film, welcome to the we're going to talk about trashy reality TV in a second, but let's start with the history of filmmaking.
Right.
But basically, it started on the East Coast, and then they realized like it's similar to Ireland. Like the weather is just crazy. It's 4 seasons in one day sometimes. What if there was a place that's always sunny and bright and has a fairly moderate temperature? Oh, Los Angeles, California. Let's go there. You know, because it wasn't as densely populated or packed as a city yet. So they went in, developed it, and that's how the Hollywood industry came to be in LA. And that's why so many people go to LA now to become famous, to do acting. And a lot of people's follow-up question for me is, why did you go to Ireland to do film? And it's because Ireland's becoming the new Hollywood, and that so many film projects are, you know, coming up here, and entertainment projects. Whereas LA, it's super saturated now. So I think Hollywood has the impact on the way that people act in LA. I find that, like, what I love about living here versus living in LA, and the way that I explain it to people is, like, in LA, people are friendly, but they're not nice. So to your face, they'll be like, oh my gosh, that's so interesting. You know, so what do you do out here? You know, and if you say, like, I work in a fish market, which I did at the time, they're like, okay, great. And then they turn around and they move on. They don't care about you anymore, you know, because you can't do anything for them. Versus here, like, I always say people aren't friendly, but they're very nice, you know, like, never try to wear a new piece of clothing around an Irish person. Like, my best friend, I showed up in what I thought was a great button-down shirt, and she called me the Big Lebowski as soon as I walked in the room. But Jesus, she's like the first person to call me if I need anything. Yeah, I can always count on her.
They bring you down a peg or two.
Yeah, bring you down a peg or two, but they're always going to lift you up, you know. Whereas in LA, it's like, if you can't do something for me, okay, bye. Yeah. You know, I have friends of friends who treat me that way, and I'm like, but we know each other. We're, like, hanging out, you know. But, like, will not get back to me because I'm not in LA, or I'm not doing, like, LA things. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. So it was Hollywood that came first.
Yes.
And then when was that?
So Hollywood came to LA in like the early 1900s. But when the cultural shift probably started happening is all the people coming over, and then like the 24 hours news cycle. Like, I could go on and on about this, but like tabloid media and like getting featured, you know, it's that thing of like, do you want to be talented and hardworking, or do you just want to be famous?
Yes.
Because being famous, as we'll see with a lot of these 90 Day Fiancé people too, is like so easy if you're just willing to act up, you know. Yeah. Same thing with, you know, figures, your Katie Prices of the world, all your LA influencers, you know, things like that. Even like just influencer culture in general, it's about getting as much attention on you, whether that's good or bad.
Yeah, and the cost of that can be, and people are willing to pay, is a part of themselves.
Exactly.
1,000%. Yeah, so I guess it's into like third generation of Hollywood family now.
There you go. Exactly, third, fourth generation of just like
people
I'm
that
gonna act up.
Where their great grandparents went there for a movie, and now those families are there. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So anyway, let's get into this. So I've taken a few notes on this, and it was a truly gripping season. I think it was 18 episodes in total, including two they have a tell-alls at the end where they all sit around and have it out with each other. So
I live for the tell-alls. They're so good. They are just going after each other. I mean, in this tell-all, we had someone, I wanted to call her Debbie because that's one of the other old white ladies that's been on the show, but Lisa, just as soon as Elise walks in, Elise, who of course is like a Miami 10, you know, and Lisa, who is, I'm sure, a King of Prussia, Pennsylvania 10, you know, but of course, older woman, you know, bodies change and things, and also like Elise has had tons of plastic surgery. She will talk about this.
Yes.
As soon as Elise walks into the room, Lisa's like, I hate you.
All right, let's get to that later. Got you. Let's get to that later. By the way, I am sweating, possibly profusely. But that doesn't mean I'm struggling, okay? I feel good, I feel relaxed. This is purely on the outside this way. Inside, I'm fine. Because I've had this issue on stage, and I know that the audience sees me sweating, and they're like, oh my God, he's really struggling there. Because if someone's doing a speech, and they're like, oh, you know, oh jeez. It's like,
sweating,
they're struggling. But I'm not struggling, I'm fine. So don't think that I'm any less of a man. Because
make it known, he's not less of a man just because he sweats. He perspirates just like the best of them.
But I'm still here. I'm fully engaged. I wasn't on the beer last night. Nothing is wrong.
That's right. We're all good. Okay? He's a professional. He was not on the beers last night.
Professionals can be sweaty as well.
Professionals can perspirate.
Yes.
Let it be known.
Exactly.
That's right. I, on
Thank
the other
you.
hand, am from Los Angeles, as established. So this is like, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, so let's get into it. We're gonna let Raven is. You've watched how many seasons?
So I guess then for the last 10 years. So
Right,
I
so
suppose
she's
that's
way
about-
more obsessed than I am. It just so happened that you listened to the podcast and you heard my episode about it a while back.
About season 5 of Before the 90
Yeah.
Days. So that was featuring specifically the one that I remember is Alina, who of course is a little person in Russia. I believe that's the final season that we
Yes.
filmed actually in Russia, because obviously U.S. sanctions and things have happened since.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but that one, yeah, was a really interesting one too, and I loved your thoughts on it because I was like, oh my gosh, finally someone who can talk to me about 90 Day
Okay,
Fiancé.
good. So that's where we're coming at here. Also, you're an American living in Ireland. I've been involved in romantic entanglements in America as well.
Oh my gosh.
So maybe this is what sparks our interest in it.
Nice.
So anyway, let's go. We're gonna go by couple, and we're gonna describe the couple to you as best we can, and let you know our thoughts on it, see what you think, and let's go. Let's do this.
Beautiful. All right, so fantastic. We're going to start with, in my opinion, the most forgettable couple, which is Emma and Ziad.
Oh, forgettable.
I wrote fairly forgettable in my notes. Last so short. Like, it really feels like their relationship. Now, she is only there for 2 weeks in Morocco. So
To give a bit of context, who is she and who is he?
absolutely.
And where are they from?
Emma is so she had a job when she was in LA, but she lost said job for talking to her friend on the job. It was something. So she's an unemployed kind of social media influencer. She's kind of giving like King Kylie 2016. Like, she's got really thick matte lips, really thick heavy eyeliner, a wig that goes crazy. There's a lot of wigs on this season.
There is wigs, yeah.
There's a wigs
There's
on
a lot
this
of wigs.
season.
Yeah.
There we go. We should have done this episode.
She's
in
27,
wigs.
right?
Yeah, she's 27.
And yeah, from LA. Very, I would say, very. What's the word? Typical LA.
Yeah. Her favorite word is cute. She's always like, it's so cute.
Yeah.
It's so cute. This is cute.
Yeah.
You know, I think she says about 700 times, and I'm like, oh, girl, no, stop this. She has a twin.
Has
as
a twin. Izzy.
Yes, Izzy the twin,
Yeah.
who is not wearing a wig.
I don't
I'm not
think so.
sure. But something about Emma's wig.
My wig there is off.
There we go. The wig is
I
frustrating.
don't have
me
a good
so
wig
much.
there.
You don't have so you didn't know that was a wig.
Well, he said it.
He does say it
Yeah.
later, but
Yeah.
in your viewing experience, you didn't know that was a wig.
I didn't know.
See, oh my God, this is why you need me on the pod, because I saw that wig pulled so far down on her forehead that I was like,
Yeah.
girl, what are you doing? There's a lot of wigs on this season. Worst wig goes to Emma, because that was
Okay.
crazy. And also, she's
I
walking.
disagree.
You just okay? We'll get into who has the worst wig, but I think this is the worst wig because it's so far down on her forehead, and like you can just see the harshest line. If you're a woman, clearly if you're a man, it's
Yeah.
noticeable. But then she's in the market asking for hair oil. I was like, girl, what do you need the hair oil for?
Yeah, I will be adding pictures up after of these
There they are.
these people so you can see what they look like.
Yeah.
Um,
My note literally says the wig girl.
the wig girl.
Yeah. When she arrives in Morocco, now she and Ziad had been texting for a while, you know, and he had been like, I love you so much, come here, baby. She's like, so, you know, Morocco is a Muslim country, and she asked him this, like, so can we kiss, can we hug in public, like, what's going on?
So yeah, it's like a 27-year-old handsome 6'1" dude.
Yeah, exactly. Handsome Moroccan guy, Marrakesh, you know, he's got a moped, you know. So he's living his best life, and she is online. Her online presence is she is like an influencer. She's taking the bikini pics, she's taking sexy outfit shots. So there is something like he knew what he was getting into. You know, she wasn't going to show up in an abaya. You know what I mean? She apparently had asked him over the phone, like, what can I wear? What can I bring? And he was like, your hottest outfits, baby, yeah. And then she shows up in Morocco, and he is, like, barely touching her.
This is at the airport.
This is at the airport. He's barely touching her. This upsets her so much.
Oh, yeah.
You know? But I also would like to point out that he was, like, not picking her up from the airport, which I would say is a red flag, because he definitely should have come to help her with her 4 bags of outfit changes and
She
wig
had so many bags.
She had, she had 4 bags and a purse. And I was like, the least you can do is ride up to the front of the airport.
Yeah.
But instead, he went and parked somewhere else and was like, oh, walk all your stuff down. And of course, she's just gotten off the flight, I'm assuming from Los Angeles to Marrakesh, which has to be over 12 hours.
Yeah.
Because from LA to Ireland, it's 14. So add an extra 4. So she's done a 16-hour flight. She's got 4 bags. And yet she is glammed up. She is changed in the bathroom. She's put on all her high heels. She's stiletto girl.
Fresh wig.
Refresh the wig.
Yeah.
She's walking out, and he makes her walk all the way through the desert. So it's a little bit like Ziad. Move number
From
1.
the start, there was red flags.
From the start, red flags. They get into an argument over this.
Morocco actually has a red flag.
That is, oh my gosh.
A green star.
Like, girl, what are you doing?
Is it a green star in the middle?
It's a green star in the middle. Yeah, exactly.
Big red flag. But I mean, yeah. So basically, the way he was acting in person was the opposite to the way he was online.
Absolutely.
She had said, "Can we kiss?" at the airport. He was like, "Yes, of course, baby," and telling her everything she wanted to hear. And then his behavior was completely the opposite.
Completely the opposite.
And it was compelling viewing.
1,000%. Because I wrote down myself, I was like, should she have done more research on where she was going, right? Because her look and the way she acts comes up a lot as their like kind of conflict exactly between
It's the
them as a
antithesis
couple.
of the Moroccan woman's way of life.
Exactly. You know, and like obviously there are laws in other countries, especially if you travel abroad. So I think she could have done a little more due diligence, but I do also think it was his responsibility to be more open with her about the fact of like, hey, when you arrive, we cannot do all of this, you know, and things. It was really, so there's a part too where she is keeping this big secret. And that big secret is that she was engaged to a Moroccan man named Mohammed before. Yeah. And now this is where the timeline gets a bit confusing on her part, where it's like, so were they engaged while she started talking to Ziad when she was about to call off their engagement? Or were they already broken up? She herself goes back and forth. Yes. Between like, oh, we were together and then I started talking to Ziad and I shouldn't have done that, you know. But then she will say to his face, you know, like, oh, I was already broken up and you were texting other girls, you know.
That's right. And then he came back eventually. He kind of was trying to keep her happy or trying to keep relations smooth, and he was kind of not really answering to these claims. And then one night they're having dinner and he goes, "What about you?" He says, "You went missing for one day. You just blanked me. What was happening there?" And she wasn't expecting that pushback, I think.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that was that to do with Mohammed? I'm not sure.
That was, I believe, if we're correct, that was to do with Mohammed because she started talking to him again. And then she went blank for a day and then came back. So I think, like, obviously on both their sides, they clearly weren't all in, you know, because she was still into Muhammad. So she clearly has a thing for Moroccan guys or something.
Do you think she has, like, an Aladdin thing going on? I think
she's got some kind of... Because even, I think her sister or one of the other people points out, like, quit going out with Moroccan guys, you know? So she definitely has, like, some kind of, Aladdin thing. Or, like, she's got some kind of fetish going on, you know.
I'm wondering, did she watch a lot of Aladdin when she was...
Maybe she always saw herself as the Jasmine, and that's why she got that crazy wig.
That's what I'm saying.
The long black hair.
Isn't it amazing that the day has come where a 37-year-old man from Blanchardstown went to, you know, Catholic school up the road there, went to all boys schools, went to a rough school, played Gaelic football all my life, that we can have a chat, you know, myself and you.
The 26-year-old L.A. woman whose job is literally influencer management, content creation, like all of that. Exactly. And that's why I was so excited to do this pod with you when I listened to your episode. I was like, oh my gosh, all right, we're going to get along so well talking about 90 Days.
And listen, just about and they did fight all the way through and it ended acrimoniously.
70% in love. That was a crazy statement. Do you remember 70% in love?
Tell them about that.
Okay, so they're having an acrimonious time. It is not going well. Everything again to her is cute. They have a tagine making class. This is one of the ones that I felt like for this season too, and I'll get into this after this episode, but it did felt like with some of these countries, it was kind of like a tourism ad. We'll talk about this after this couple, but they do like a tagine making class. They go to stay in like a Bedouin kind of like a desert situation, and this is apparently over the phone they had talked about him proposing to her on her birthday. Like she had been super clear with him, like this is what she wants. And sometimes I do feel like her bar is on the floor, especially with the airport stuff. And then when he says, I'm 70% in love, because she asks him, like they're kind of making up, you know, things are going a little bit better. And she goes, you know, so how in love, like percentage of love are you with me? And he's like 70%, which like in America, that's a C minus. Like, that's
not
crazy.
great.
That's not good. And she's like, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And I was like, girl, what the? Stand up. You know, I've got a couple of girl stands up in this one. So I was like,
And you know when it really ended,
Yeah.
I think when he brought her out to meet the lads,
yeah.
his mates. And can I just say as well, this whole thing was compounded by the fact that in the first 5 days they didn't share a room together even.
They did not.
He's like, no, it's my religion, we can't. And then they eventually end up
They end up having sex twice.
Yeah.
She says we had sex twice.
So then it was after that, I believe, that he brought her out to meet his friends.
Yes.
And they ask him, what are the percentage chances of this woman being a wife? And he says 0%.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do remember that. He later upgrades it to 30%.
30.
You know, it's still, this is not good. And again, if I was her, I would have been like, okay, so we are done. But I think for her, and especially with the American women on this season, like, insecurity is like the big theme. Like,
Definitely.
Like I said, her bar is on the actual ground.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, she's literally kind of taking anything that he will kind of give her because she wants to be loved so bad. And she talks about this too after, of course, they break up in the desert. And he leaves her just out there to, like, she doesn't speak French or Arabic, you know?
No.
So now she has to go get a car back.
Yeah. So,
You
and
know?
it's 3 hours from
3 hours
from where the
airport.
airport is.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it was so cruel.
It was super cruel. But of course, she immediately did get on her phone to text Muhammad.
Yeah, she meets up with Muhammad then.
But does she?
Oh,
she
there you
doesn't.
go. She didn't.
That's
She tried to.
She tries to meet up with the ex-fiance, Muhammad, right? And she's like, I'm texting him that I just so happen to be in Morocco, you know? And of course, he's on to her like, why are you in Morocco, you know? And so they're going to meet up at this restaurant, you know? And so she's waiting there, right? And that's like several cliffhangers of like 3 different episodes that she's in this restaurant. What's going to happen? And of course, he doesn't show up. He ghosts her. He's like out. And then he texts her like, don't call me, don't text me. I'm not your plan B.
Yes.
So he knew that she was in Morocco for a man.
So a double whammy for Emma.
Double whammy for Emma. She runs to the ocean. And in true reality TV fashion, she takes that ring and she hucks it not very far into the sea.
Yeah.
And she said, I'm free of this.
Yeah.
You know, and she's returning back to Los Angeles. So Emma ends the season without a 90-day fiance.
That's right.
But a big moment on the seashore. Hawking a ring, like I said. Just
such a bad throw.
it was awful. I was like, girl, oh my gosh, she's not playing for the Dodgers anytime soon. You know what I mean?
I felt bad for her in that moment though, because she was like, I will find love eventually, and then throws it.
It's just a lot, you know. It'd actually be funnier if it came back to hit her somehow, like it was stuck on her finger.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, exactly. I did feel bad for her at the end of the season, but I think their story was so short that I truly felt like they were the most forgettable couple.
Yeah, I found them very interesting.
Really? Okay, so then the complete opposite.
Yeah,
of what
I found that dynamic so interesting. I didn't know what was going to happen next, I was so interested in how far she was willing to let him go, and still forgive him because he was being such an asshole. And that's I don't know if I was getting some sort of weird like interest in how much she would let herself suffer.
Yeah.
Like how much can a person
like
actually...
Like a Schadenfreude kind of thing. Or no, you weren't taking pleasure in it. You were
not
just
pleasure,
like,
just fascination. Really.
Yeah, morbid fascination.
How much can one person let themselves take before she's like, fuck this shit? Like, and also, always in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, how much are they prolonging this for the sake of being on TV?
Yes, you know, and that's where I feel like with Emma, right? So like her big insecurity. Welcome back to my 4 pages of notes on 90 Day Fiance. I take 90 Dan Fiance Special very seriously, which is the name it says on this page. But I found like, going back to that, the American women are like shockingly, well, maybe not shocking, but like I think there has to be a level of insecurity to be on TV or something, like to do this. Like clearly Emma is really invested in becoming like a social media person.
Yes.
I mean, she's like unemployed going into this Morocco situation too. And she tells him that that's one of her secrets, like, I have no job. And he's like, you know, well, one of us has to have a job, please.
Yeah.
You know? But she, I just said, like, she's really into the love bombing. She, like, needs it so much, you know, to feel something that as soon as this guy ditches her, she goes back to the other guy who doesn't want to be with her either, you know,
Crazy.
Because she needs it so much, you know. And I think we definitely see that, well, in Lisa, for sure, because that, I would say, also goes back to how far is this person willing to let themselves be verbally abused, by someone.
And emotionally.
And emotionally, verbally, just be in an abusive relationship, like how long are they going to let themselves do that just to have maybe some kind of semblance of someone?
Yes.
So should that take us into Lisa and Daniel, or should we save them, do you think?
Yeah, I think that pretty much sums up Emma and Ziad, I think.
Yeah.
It wasn't true love.
It
anyway.
was definitely not. We could end with what happened to them afterwards, right? So they're broken up.
Oh, do you know what's happened after?
So what's happened now is...
So where are they now, I guess? We'll finish with that.
Where are they now?
Yeah.
So basically, what we see in the tell-all is they're done. They're like done.
Yeah.
He was ragging on everybody during that tell-all as well.
Oh yeah, during the tell-all. So
exactly.
they're all sitting around in like a semicircle, and there's either the partner is with them or on a screen.
Yeah.
And he's on a screen beside Emma, and he is just going after everyone.
Exactly.
I found that pretty funny.
That was really... It felt like the roast of Rick.
Yes.
Featuring Ziad as well.
We'll talk about him later, but let's... Yeah, okay, so they're finished
done.
now.
There we go.
All right, who's up next?
Up next, well, we've mentioned how far are people willing to go to stay with someone. Shall we talk about Lisa from Pennsylvania and Daniel from Nigeria? We have 52 and 39 is the age gap, which I actually don't think is the worst age gap of all of these couples. I think they're both clearly kind of older. I mean, like, they can make their own decisions. But so Lisa got a message from Daniel online via Facebook, I believe. Now, the thing about Lisa is she is what a complex woman. What a complex woman.
Yeah.
She has been married 5 times. To 3 different men, and then she realized that she defines herself as a lesbian. I think maybe she'd describe herself as bisexual now, because she gets a man later. But teach their own, rock on, let 1,000 blossoms bloom, But she had 2 relationships with women, and then was in a marriage with another woman when Daniel messaged her on Facebook saying, "God told me to." Saying, my mom told me that I would marry a white... He says it in Igbo, which is his language in the people
tribe,
that he comes
isn't it?
from. Yeah, his tribe. So he's Igbo. So he says...
This fella's in a tribe, like...
And proper, we see, several people who I'm sure if there are actual people of Nigerian descent listening to the pod or anyone can tell us, like... So that was fake, right? They were doing that for the TV, shaking things,
I don't know.
That's what I'm like. But here's the thing, right? Is I'm like, let's think about the viewership of 90 Day Fiancé. It's probably white people. It's probably they could have done anything, and I'm sure they probably knew, like, we can actually do anything right now, and it'll like, whoa, you got to bring a goat and a shaman, and like it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But so. Lisa and Daniel sends her the message about God told me and my mom told me that I was going to marry a white woman and she'd be older. And she writes back, "Scammer, why are you messaging me?" And he says, "God told me to."
Yeah.
Crazy. But she's like, "That's my man," and they start messaging more. She sends $2,000 to the chagrin of her friend and her daughter. To Daniel in Nigeria. They have this argument at like the Olive Garden, Olive Garden will show back up later.
Olive Garden's a restaurant in America, isn't it?
It is. It's a fast Italian chain, essentially. It's I don't know. The stereotype around it is like, oh, it's like Chili's as well. That's another like fast food kind of chain. You'd see them online and it's like Olive Garden's not a
bit
posh
rough.
place. It's a bit, it's a bit rough. Yeah.
She's a bit rough to me. I don't know what it is about her, but
I think it's the wigs. I think I'm assuming that's your worst wig of the whole thing.
It's just her face. I don't know.
She has quite...
And her voice.
She has,
and her wig and everything.
Wig, face, voice. It's not giving anything, really. It's giving abrasive,
Yeah.
Well, she was a smoker as well. She mentions, like, she's like, she's quit smoking and now she just vapes, We see her vaping a couple of times. But what was cracking me up is, and back to Raven's notes on 90 Day Fiancé, is, oh my gosh, this isn't even the page with them. Let's go to the 4th page of notes. Beautiful. What cracked me up is anytime that I saw her in Igbo clothes, it cut back to her, and it's like, it just felt so fish out of water. It cut back to her in her like head wraps and things, and I'd be like, oh girl, like you are in over your head, you are here in Lagos.
Yes, in Lagos in Nigeria. She travels there, and she
goes there
on arrival. He proposes.
On arrival, he proposes to her with a big band when
At
she
the
had
airport.
just promised her daughter at the Olive Garden that
Yeah.
she would not accept a marriage proposal. And then immediately she lands and there's like a big band and he's like, gets down on one knee and she accepts the proposal.
Yeah, he goes, "Can you marry me?"
Yeah, can you marry me? And
say
she's
with-
like, I was supposed to tell him that I'm still married.
Yeah.
And what's worse, still married to a woman.
Yeah.
And she hasn't done it. She just accepts the proposal. Boom, they're engaged.
Oh, so awkward.
Yeah, they return to the hotel where they get into the throes of passion. And it's her first time with a man in 21 years.
Yes. And she gives her
She gives her thoughts on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, girl.
you're a lot bigger than what I'm used to.
Oh, my gosh. Exactly. But the thing, too, about Daniel is he has her keep the wig on all the time.
Oh, yeah.
She's not allowed to take off this wig,
No.
you know? And, like, the thing is, assuming in these climates, if it's anything like today in Ireland, very warm, you know, if we were wearing wigs right now.
If I could take this mullet off, I would.
There you go. Take off your mullet wig.
Yeah.
There you go. But
Yeah, I mean, but the moment that sticks out for me was when she kind of had this rebellious moment in the hotel room. He's gone out for a walk or something.
Yeah.
I think they'd had a fight, and
Yeah.
he's out and about the next morning, and she's up in the hotel room, and she's like, "That's it." She goes, "I'm taking off my wig," and so she
takes off
she
her wig.
reveals her real hair for the first time.
Which is like it's a classic old lady
She's
cut.
not bald.
You know, she's
I
not
thought she was
bald.
gonna be bald.
No, she had taken it off during one of the interviews, and she has the short hair, and she's like, "Oh, finally, the wind in my scalp." And she takes it off, and she comes down to see
They meet in the
him,
lobby, yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, baby,"
Oh, he goes, "Oh."
and he
Oh.
and
Remember
in
that
his- yeah,
reaction?
yeah. And in his
Oh.
oh, and she's like, "What do you think?" You know?
Yeah.
And he's just like, "There you are."
Yeah.
Here it is. You're here. It's like when your friend gets a bad haircut and you have to like,
Yeah.
wow, that's different.
Yeah.
You know? Oh my gosh.
The one thing as well that stood out to me that was
Yeah.
just like, so he'd be kissing her full on, but even when he give her a kiss in the cheek, he sticks his tongue out first.
Yeah, it's crazy. They are.
He goes tongue first with every kiss.
It's too.
And he has a massive tongue, and he's just sticking it in her face like every time they kiss, and they show it so much on the camera.
Too much shifting,
Too much shifting, and
Just
too much tongue.
You mentioned that in your other episode too. I was like, "There's too much shifting."
Yeah, and the shifting
Stop
noises.
It, stop it. You know,
Yeah.
the noises, the
Kissing
that.
noises.
It's
Jesus
crazy.
Christ.
And it's like, oh my gosh, no. So they're having their time in Nigeria, and he's dressing her and trying to like teach her about his culture.
Yeah.
And that's when they get into like a major fight.
Yeah.
You know, they're having dinner, and he's trying to show her how to eat fufu and like how to do things, but he's doing it like really aggressively. You know.
Oh, he
He's,
turns
like-
into a different person.
He turns into like and then he accuses her of being drunk when she's had a whisper of wine.
Yeah.
Like not even. He's like, "You're drunk. You don't know what you're saying to me."
Yeah.
And she's like, "You don't know what you're saying to me."
He switched completely
He switched completely.
into
He
this
went
controlling.
into exactly super
mode.
controlling, which we see more of like later
Mm.
in their journey too. But I think this is the first time that we really see that coming from him. And even she's like, "What was that?
Yeah.
You know, you don't speak to me like that." And he comes out and he's like, "Oh, baby, I'm sorry," you know, and that. But this is the first time that we'll see that. We'll later see that when she reveals the 5 husbands. Of course, he's upset about that. But it's not even that it's 5 husbands; it's that she was with a woman.
Yes.
And he calls her an abomination, which I'm sorry, if that's not going to make you leave somebody like immediately and get on the next flight, like girl,
Yeah.
like come on, that's an abomination.
What was
That's
the thing?
what-
Stand up girl, was it?
What
did you say?
I said, girl, stand up.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, he's like,
you need
girl,
to do that
stand
one.
up.
Yeah.
You know, you need
An
to be standing up for yourself.
Abomination, he called her.
An abomination.
Mm.
You know, and it's crazy. So he takes her to go get a cleansing from a shaman. After, of course, they've met his uncle, and he's explaining, like, look, she's been married before. You know, he doesn't know about the woman part yet. You know, but she's been married before, and the uncle's name is Modestus. That's a crazy cool name. I was like, Uncle Modestus. Oh, wow. You know, that's a bold man, you know. And he's like, look, listen, you're my nephew. I really like you. Obviously, you know. And he asks her, like, are you a Christian? And she's like, she's in her headdress. And she's like, I'm trying. I'm really trying. He's like, do you smoke? And she's like, I'm trying to quit. She always try. But then he goes, are you a lesbian? And she's like, I've had an affair with a woman before. And he's like, oh, yeah, you got to go get her cleansed, you know, of this. Which, like, obviously you can't cleanse someone of that. That's
Yeah.
who they are.
So that was the first secret, and then the next thing was she had given that secret, and it was just about forgiven. She got cleansed, but she was still holding on to another secret, that she was still married to a woman.
That she was still married to the woman.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, it's like, Lisa, what other secrets are you hiding beneath that wig? It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so they're having dinner again.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, there you go. We've been cleansed by this shaman. Hold on to the cleansing of the shaman. That's going to come up in the tell-all, But, like, we've done this thing. We've given the goat. We've, like, met the king.
Yeah, they had to go and buy a goat and give it to the uncle, wasn't it?
Exactly. No, they had to give it to the shaman.
To
The chief priest. Sorry. They gave it to the chief priest, the goat, and she needed to kiss some statues. Again, for the white audience, they probably could have literally done anything. And we all would have been like, yes, that's what happens, you know? But she unties a cloth from the goat, and he's like, hold your husband. And they have the most awkward hug. And he's like, there you go, you're cleansed now. Thanks so much, guys.
She was such a fish out of water. That's the fascinating thing.
It truly, yeah. It was pretty wild. And so, let me put these notes down. So they go to see the king, and she is a nervous laugher. And
what a moment that was.
Exactly. So she goes to see the Igbo king and in her dress, and they're all there to, like, present her as his potential wife. And she goes to the king and kneels down and starts to laugh. The king does not like this.
No.
He is offended by this. And he's like, send her back. And he starts speaking to Daniel. He's like, what is this? This is an abomination. This is an abomination. This is crazy. Why would she laugh at the king? And they're trying to, like, come up with excuses, like, really fast. Like, oh, no, she's just a nervous laugher. And she's like, please. She's like, I'm either laughing or I'm crying. And I'm like, girl, that's the theme of your whole journey on this show. She is either laughing or she is crying. Mm-hmm. And it's terrible to see her cry, especially around, like, being called an abomination for just who she is.
Yeah, I know.
But so the Igbo king does eventually give his blessing. So now they've gotten blessings from the uncle, the king, and the chief priest. And so they go out to dinner. They are engaged. They're going to get married and things. And that's when she reveals that she's still married to the other woman. And he is, we've seen the controlling side already. He gets even, like, more insane after this. He goes back to the abomination things. And this is when she does stand up, girl. Because she goes, no, like, this is who I am. And if you love me, then that is in my past. But this is also who I am. And I love people for being people, and she does stand up for herself. She does get up. But she goes back to him, and when I say stand up girl, I would have wanted her to stay standing up.
Yeah.
But I think, she's so, it goes back to that insecure. She just wants to be loved. She says too, like, I didn't tell you because I was scared of losing you. But you shouldn't be scared of losing someone if you can't be your full self, because then you lose you. There you go. Write that down. Clip that.
That's very
Raven's
good.
inspiration. Inspiraven.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. It's again that cultural opposites dynamic, and trying to push through that just to have someone, like,
exactly,
because she's so insecure and lonely.
She's so
imagine like not being able to be on your own that much. I mean, she's too. It's not like she wants to have kids or something.
She's already had kids.
Yeah, it's all she wants is company and someone to love her. So that's how far people can be willing to go just to not be alone.
Exactly.
Go into an opposite culture, like I say, opposite. It's just different. It's totally different. Not used to it. And you have to go and get 3 blessings.
Yes.
Or 2 blessings and a cleansing.
Yeah.
And the guy is calling you abomination.
Yeah.
And you're still willing to be with him.
And you're still, because you just are so afraid of being lonely.
Yeah.
But then...
Yeah.
She does stand up, girl. She does stand up, girl. When she gets back to America, they get on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
Months have passed.
He starts drifting.
He's drifting.
He's not the same as he was before.
Exactly.
He got what he wanted, didn't he?
Yeah, he got what he wanted, which is like, he knows that he has her on lock. He knows that he literally can call her, again, an abomination.
Yeah.
And tell her that she's hideous without her wig and make her feel terrible. And she will still be with him until she gets back to America and she gets him on the phone. And she's like, Faith, my daughter, did some investigating. Why am I called Lisa Baby? Which ties back into Baby Girl Lisa, who we'll remember was with Soulja Boy.
Yeah.
That's a shout out from some old, seasons. Again, weird crossovers that are happening there.
Yeah.
But so she's like, why am I Lisa Baby? And this other woman is called Wife.
Oh, so they went through his emails, I think.
Yes.
His daughter, her daughter, went through his emails and found his
Exactly.
contacts list.
Yep.
And he had someone called Wifey.
Yeah, wifey. Yeah.
Was it Wifey or Wife or
It was
something?
something along those lines.
And that was the
was
next line of interrogation.
Exactly. And he's like, show me the evidence.
Yeah.
I don't have that. And she's like, I don't need to show you the evidence. We're done.
Yeah.
And she calls it. She calls it.
Now we got to give Daniel credit for this one thing, because there was one time where he showed a lot of patience and a lot of. We got to talk about this.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So yeah, let's get into that. I mean, this happened in they were in a nice hotel in Lagos,
Yeah.
I think, and this was an incident that happened at the hotel after they had eaten some traditional Nigerian food, I think, for a couple of days.
And her lovely Pennsylvania diet wasn't ready to handle that. And so, to put it, as professionally as I can, she shit the bed.
Yeah.
She shit the bed.
While the two of them are in it.
While the two of them are in it, if listeners, if you have a sensitive stomach, it got on him, it got on herself. She ruined the sheets, and she admits in her talking head, she's like, I have never done that before. That has never happened to me. She's like, she describes it as explosive diarrhea.
Yeah.
It is happening everywhere. And yes, he was like super patient. He's like, well, I've never been shit on before. This is a first, but there we go. So it's quite a moment in the show too, where it's like, oh my gosh. And she too was like, oh, Daniel does love me because he took care of me during this time. Forget all the other awful things that he's done, but like he took care of me when I had explosive diarrhea and could have died, from lack of hydration.
And he was so understanding about that.
Exactly.
But a wig, forget it.
Yeah, wig, no. But if you shit on me, nah. What's a guy gonna do?
Yeah.
Exactly. Have you ever done anything embarrassing around a partner before?
Oh,
because that's what shitting the bed reminded me of.
Not that I can think of. I mean, I've said embarrassing things.
I was thinking like a shit the bed level thing.
No.
Lucky you.
No, I'd be hesitant to fart in front of people.
You mentioned this actually, yeah.
Yeah. Now in my family, I'd be trying to one up them with farts with my brothers and sisters and stuff. You'd be trying to. It's like a competition. But then in front of potential love interests, no, I haven't. I don't know what it is. There's some sort of thing with me with that of women farting in front of me or me farting in front of women.
You're like, no.
I wish I didn't have it. I don't want to have that, but it's just some sort of instinct. It just kind of, I'm like, no.
No. Will you run outside? Would you rather be outside?
No, just like that.
Oh my gosh. Man.
Especially when there's like a. Probably getting into detail here, but if I was ever staying in a hotel with a woman and there's a bathroom ensuite, obviously, and I know she's
That's
going.
right. He's not cheaping out on you, ladies.
I'd be like, if you can hear the tap, you can. I'm like, oh, I don't want to hear that.
Really? Oh my gosh.
It's some maybe it's some sort of disease that I have. That not disease, but like mental problem that I have. That
a mental block is just
because it's just bodily functions,
Yeah, everybody's got them.
Yeah. But as far as doing something embarrassing, no. I think the worst thing for me would probably be snoring.
Oh, are you a snorer?
I used to be. I don't think I am anymore. But I was, and I was told by the person I was dating, and she'd be like, "Oh, you were snoring last night," and that's the thing where. It's kind of cruel because I couldn't really do anything about it.
Yeah, you're asleep. You're not conscious of that.
Yeah, but I think that may have could have possibly ended a couple of potential relationships.
Dang, snoring.
I think so. But like if you're ruining someone's sleep and they have to go to work in the morning, like they're not gonna be too fond of that.
Yeah, I was I just keep earplugs by my bed. I literally I'll just throw my earplugs and be
what
like,
about
all right,
yourself?
good night. Myself. So actually, I was thinking about this. I don't have any like shat the bed level stories, but I was in. Just because I'm couth like that, But so last year I was my now ex-partner and I were in Croatia together, and I was on medication that meant that I was photosensitive, and I didn't know this.
What does that mean?
So photosensitive means that your skin. So you know how you get a sunburn when you're in the sun?
Yeah.
Now imagine you're 10 times more likely to get a sunburn because you're on this medication.
Right.
So I was on this meds. We were taking a ferry from Split over to an island. We are going to do that.
Havar?
We weren't in Hvar. We were in Bol.
Beautiful place,
There you go.
Croatia, by the way.
Stunning place. I had the time of my life. He didn't, but that was him and that's me. And I learned that I'm the crack and I can have a great time anywhere,
Right.
But so we were headed over and we were in the sun enjoying like, nice, beautiful ferry. And I'm like, oh, dang, I'm feeling really hot. We end up getting to the hotel that we're staying in. And I just walk into the room, right? Because now we're out of the direct sun. And he looks at me and he's like, whoa, that's not good. I look at myself in the mirror and I am so severely sunburned.
Oh.
I'm like a lobster.
Okay.
And it's to a point where like now, because the sunburn is starting to develop, like I can't even wear my clothes. It's like that bad. And he had to go to the pharmacy to buy as many like sunburn ointments as he could. It's a product called Zarina Most.
Right.
Not sponsoring the show, but could sponsor me because that shit saved me on that trip. But it's like
So your skin was so sore that you
my
couldn't...
skin was so sore that we had to actually keep putting towels in the freezer
wow.
to put on my skin.
Wow.
And those towels would heat up in 5 minutes. Like it was so fast and ridiculous. So maybe that's the closest I've ever gotten to a shit the bed story because he had to take care of me because I was having like sun fever. I was like shaking. Like
Right.
I was sun poisoned essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the closest I've ever gotten to shit in the bed.
And how long had you been seeing each other?
Oh, we'd been together so that was our trip to meet his family. We were together for about 10 months. We'll actually get into why we broke up. This is the big reveal, Raven's public reveal of why we broke up, only on the Dan Stevens
You sure
podcast.
you want to do that?
Well, actually, it ties into one of the couples that we have on
Does
the
it?
show.
All right, let's
so I'll
continue.
talk about it, yeah. But so, yeah, there's back to Lisa and Daniel, though.
Yes.
So to wrap it up, basically, she goes back to America. She gets the call. She says, we're done. We're through. They get on the tell-all, and that's when she reveals he has had the chief priest place a curse on her.
yeah.
She's like, I almost died. I was in the hospital bleeding. We don't know what from. I don't think she ever says what it, but she was like, and that's when I learned that the chief priest, he's put a curse on me, that what he had actually done is gotten them traditionally married during the cleansing, apparently according to what he had done. And so because they are like spiritually married and their souls are entwined, having them be apart or like breaking up is causing her to like go through things and like be in a curse. And so like it's a very like Harry Potter situation.
It's like a condition of the blessing.
Exactly.
If you separate, you get cursed.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she needs to come and get, spiritually cleansed again or something needs to happen, which I'm like, this sounds like he just kind of wants more money because if we remember, she did give all of her money to do this cleansing.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, Daniel, put more money in. He needs more,
Yeah.
Just give him everything you have in the pocket. So yeah, apparently where we leave Lisa and Daniel, they're done, but cursed.
Yes. All right, very good.
Beautiful.
So they're gone, they're finished.
They're gone, they're finished.
Yeah.
But that can take us to Javon and Annalyn,
Yeah.
who are the other couple. So we have Javon. He is from, he's from Alabama.
You found these very interesting.
I found these ones interesting.
These are the ones I found least interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I found this interesting from my own lived experience.
I found him so boring.
Really?
Yeah.
I found him boring. I found him toxic. I found him like the whole manosphere thing. So, but the reason that I think I was interested in this couple so much is that manosphere element.
So let's just give a background
Yes.
to who they are. So he's
from Alabama.
Alabama. What age is he?
He is
38.
38,
and
yeah.
I think she was from...
She's from the Philippines.
And 38
and
as
she
well.
was 30. Yeah, they were both 38. They got married online.
Married online. That was
Yeah.
the weird thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
So they got married online.
During COVID, they got married online.
Yeah.
So they had been chatting online. He was specifically looking for like a Filipino wife.
Yes.
He wanted a traditional woman. And because he's into this kind of like it goes back to manosphere content. But so Annalyn is based in Philippines. He's finally coming out to see her. He was a carer in Alabama, but he's going to move out to the Philippines to see her and be with her.
Yes.
And be with his wife, like for real, But Annalyn, of course, working in the Philippines, she has a house and things. He does send her money to like help with things that are going on. And we'll get into that in a second.
I think she was... Because I remember him visiting her flat. He was paying her rent.
Yeah, exactly. He's paying
And
her
he was
rent.
like, so this is where my money is going. That's how he done it. And then he
Yeah.
was complaining about
Yeah,
it.
and then he was
Which I was
complaining
like,
about it.
man, that doesn't really...
Well, he starts
really
acting like
wash.
she lives in this mansion. Like, it's not a mansion. It's
No.
like a regular flat.
And her
with
mother lives with her.
mom. Exactly.
Yeah.
She's taking care of her mom, her elderly mom. So, like, he starts acting all like, I'm the man and I'm the financial guy, And she points out that her concern is like, yeah, he's listening to all these podcasts and all these, like, manosphere things. And I think the reason that I found them the most interesting is that's why I broke up with my ex-boyfriend.
Oh,
is he was getting into all that manosphere content,
yeah.
and I was like, I'm not doing that.
What's
I'm like
manosphere
done.
content?
Yeah, so basically, like, if you look online, there's these sort of like, under the guise of like empowering men to like be more confident or be
Mm.
more, take more leadership. What's happening now is these young men are engaging with this content under that, like I said, under that premise, because like we're dealing with, in a modern kind of dating age too, like being online or like not really meeting in person. People aren't connecting as much, people aren't being as social, they're not as outgoing. And so this kind of content provides this space for men to like express their emotions and express their things, but what they're really doing is like radicalizing them against women, against people who are like opposing them and things like
Right.
that. That the wife should be submissive, and that you're the man, so you take leadership and the women, they follow
Yeah.
you, that kind of
That is
thing.
that the extreme end of it.
That's, yeah,
I
it
mean,
gets into
because
the
with these
extreme.
things, I find with these catchphrases like manosphere, and it is a thing, but I find that there's kind of a scale. I mean,
Yeah.
that's wrong.
Yeah, that's
Men like
true.
that, but I think men having confidence and taking care of themselves is good.
Exactly, and that's how.
You
But
know,
that's how these.
there's nuance involved. I think it should. There
1,000%.
should be a scale to these things, and obviously he was at the, and some men go to the wrong end of the scale,
Some men go
where
to
they
the
just basically become dickheads.
Yep, and so that's why I split up with him.
Right.
And so when
Like
I saw,
I mean, no matter what sort of fad or phase or what would you call it? What is the manosphere? Like
I
a
guess it's like I'd have to call it like a behavioral trend at the moment.
trend?
Yeah.
Yeah. No matter what trend you're getting into, I think no matter what it is, whether it's on the, if there was a female version or not, if there was
there
a male
is.
version of
Yeah.
it, there was one for old people, one for young people. If you become an asshole, you become an asshole. So just try to avoid that.
Yeah, don't be an asshole. You heard it here first on the Dan Stevens Show.
Yeah.
Don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
Exactly. Your girlfriend will leave you.
If people stop listening to what you're saying and you start talking and they're like, oh, just shut up, man, and people don't want to be around you anymore, I think you should probably not do that.
Exactly. And I agree with you. I think there's so much like, yes, people should be confident and feel good about themselves. And it's grifters who take that and then turn it into like and now I'm selling you my books.
It's
and
a product
you
and
my,
it's
yeah,
like,
it becomes
it's
a product.
clickable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the rage bait. It's the all
Yeah.
that, and it's having like real world
it
consequences.
seems like the less nuance and stuff now, the more saleable it is,
Exactly.
the more product
1,000%.
it becomes.
And
But yeah, he went to the asshole end of that.
Yeah, exactly. He
that
started
right?
doing that, and we see that with their nail salon fight. Back to Jovan
I skipped
and
a lot of
Evelyn.
him. I found him so boring.
Really?
Again, yeah, I was like, he's just boring. He was just standing there, like, and trying to. I could sense this sort of false sense of confidence off him. He'd be like, she'd be like, "You're so boring," and he'd be like, "Yeah, I'm just quiet" or something. Or
Yeah.
she would accuse him of being boring and not doing stuff.
Yeah.
Would that be correct?
I think what it is for her, it's the because I was looking at like some of the techniques that he did, right, where he would like he takes her to the nail salon, and like I said, the reason I found this interesting is just my own experience having been with someone who was into that, and he starts doing nice things for her, but there's like always a caveat. So he's like, "Will you be nice now? Will you pick up my dirty socks and underwear?" When he's a grown man, he can pick those up. He's not a child. So it's this nice thing, but always a caveat. And he says to her, like, if you don't want honest answers, don't ask dumbass questions.
Right.
Oh, I was ready to punch him through the screen.
Right.
I was like, oh, hell no. And she did the right thing. She got up and she threw in her towel and she just like walked off.
So did it become transactional?
It became transactional. Everything was
Right.
transactional.
So almost like a boss and an employee, or a
Exactly.
customer and like a client and a producer or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's back to like his whole thing, and he's mentioned like, oh yeah, I thought she was going to be a traditional wife. I thought she was going to be a submissive wife, and she's like, I'm not a submissive wife. What are you talking about? But I wonder if there's something for her too, because she is getting the money out of it. She is getting something. So like, whereas someone like me who like the benefit of like being able to be independent, like I was in that situation, and I was able to like, I'm gonna go, I don't have a financial tie to this man. I can go. That maybe there is some grace that we can give her if it's the case of she needs the money, or she needs like the support to help her mom, so she is gonna stay with him, or she is gonna like, okay, maybe I can be a little bit nicer, but how long is he gonna keep pushing that? Because like at one point he says to her in the nail salon fight specifically like, oh, don't get too comfortable. That's your problem. You've gotten too comfortable.
Oh, right.
And I like, for me, I'm like, this is, fight or flight, fight or flight. I'm like, oh my gosh, and it's just so like, that makes her so upset
this one
too.
really, on a personal
On
level,
a personal
you
level, it
connected
spoke
to
to me. On a personal level, it spoke to me. And I wish that guy that I have just talked about, truly, I wish him all the best. I wish him healing and to go forth and just, find happiness and find confidence and healing, and live your life. Because after that relationship, I've gotten to do so much awesome stuff. I do stand-up comedy. My spark is back, and I learned so much about myself. And now I get to talk about that on the Dan Stevens Show and 90 Day Fiancé, you know. But he also says
I'd see myself as quite a masculine man.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of that.
Exactly.
But I think there's just a balance. You can still do that and have respect for women.
I have respect for people.
And for people. And you can still, when you need to show strength.
Exactly.
But it doesn't mean that you have to encroach on anyone else's personal freedoms or on their sense of self or anything like that,
Oh, absolutely agree. Raven and Dan are on the same side.
There we go. Yeah, absolutely.
That's right. that's the shot for the what's it, the thumbnail?
Is it?
There we go.
You can.
There we go.
I'd like your help with that.
Hey, totally.
Thumbnails. You're good at thumbnails and stuff.
I'm all right.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There's two of them there. Look.
There you go.
Thumbnails.
Anyways, that's been the podcast, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed. But he also says, like, I'm hard on you, but I'm not aggressive. And I was like, oh, this is a gateway to getting worse. I was concerned about them going forward. The ring shopping, I also felt like was like, why would he do that? Because he takes her to go ring shopping. Maybe you skipped over this. But...
do you know what? I'll tell you. I was just thinking one other reason why I was skipping over him was because I was so excited to get back to the other ones.
Yeah.
So if you're slightly less, you'll find maybe if you're watching this after this, or if you have watched it before, that if something, there's usually one couple, I don't know if you found this, that you find less interesting.
Yeah.
And I'd be skipping past them to get to the interesting ones again.
The juicy ones.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because we're working through all the non-juicy to get to the juicy people.
Yeah.
Because my non-juicy was, of course, Emin Ziad. Now we're on to your non-juicy couple, Jovan and Anna Lynn.
Yeah.
But so we're getting towards the end of their story anyways as well, because he takes her ring shopping. And the ring is about $260. And he's like, dang, girl, why do you want all the money? And it's like, it's $260.
Yeah.
Like,
I watched this bit, alright, yeah.
Like, it's really not.
But there was options. He could have gotten a more expensive one, but he went for the cheaper one.
He went for the cheaper one, and he gave her $100 to buy her own ring. Yeah. He didn't even pick it for her. I was like, brother, why are you trying to be all leadership man?
From what I saw as well during this, though, I think she was fighting back against that dynamic.
She was.
She's a tough woman.
She is.
And I think that I've been to Thailand and I've seen street vendors and women they're just doing their thing in Thailand, and I haven't been to the Philippines, but I've heard my brother was in Vietnam and my cousin. You don't mess with the women there. They are strong women.
They are
strong-willed, hard-working women, and they don't take any shit.
Exactly. So I think the stereotype, especially with like other couples we've seen on 90 Day Fiancé who go to the Philippines to find a wife, like they're not this traditional thing. Same with other couples who go to like countries where they'd find like a traditional wife, quote unquote, like going to Slavic countries or things like that. They quickly realize like, oh, they're not like that at all. They're very strong-willed,
they are,
thoughtful, hardworking, independent.
From
like they don't need you. So eventually they do get married. And she's like, what are your vows? What vows are you going to write? And he like half-asses it, man. Like this part, he's just like, I promise to love you and you're great, And she like kind of does a bit more personal, and things about like picking up your dirty socks. And I was like, girl, you don't need to stand up, girl. Back to stand up, girl. And she eventually does. And I said, yeah, his vows are lame, with like 5 E's on the lame.
Yeah.
They, at the end of the show, discovered that they're pregnant, but unfortunately they lose the baby. So that's quite sad.
Did that happen?
It did, yeah. But they are, at the end of the show, in the tell-all, living together in the Philippines, and it seems like they've got a pretty good thing, or sorting out their dynamic a bit more.
So they're still going now?
They are still going now.
And this was recorded in 2025, isn't that right?
This would have been recorded,
last year.
Exactly. Yeah. So only last year. So that's where we leave off with Joanne, oh my gosh, Jovan and Anna Lynn.
Okay, so they're going happily.
Exactly. But so, Dan, I guess before we go into the other couples, have you ever dated an American, or would you ever date one?
Yeah, I've been in trysts with American women.
Tryst? Oh my gosh. Are they your type? Would you go after if you saw an American woman? Oh, really? Okay.
I like American people in general.
Nice.
I do, yeah. Yeah, well, there was why I went to Florida in 2024 was I met a girl online.
Oh
She
my
was
gosh.
originally Puerto Rican, but um, grew up in Florida, you know,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and got on very well and all that. And then I booked a place first. I went there in March of 2024. She might still be listening to this. I don't know.
Hello.
But yeah, hello there. Will I say her name? I don't know if I should.
Nah, keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
keep that to yourself.
Yeah. Put up a picture of us here.
Yeah, there you go. You just Google Puerto Rican woman.
And then what happened was, and this
Yeah.
is a big. People think that I'm joking when I say this, but this we got on very well online,
Yeah.
and it was at a time as well where I'd lost my brother. I think maybe I was quite vulnerable at the time, and I was really wanting someone to talk to and
Connection.
a connection like that. Yeah, especially with like someone far away that I didn't know that well. So I think that's how it happened. But getting on great online, I booked a place for two of us to stay, and she's picking me up from the airport, and I meet Niall Quinn, former Irish international soccer player.
Oh my gosh.
I meet him at the bag pickup, and I get chatting to him. I like walk up beside him like, "How are you, Niall?" and having a great chat with him. But she's trying to ring me
Yeah.
because she's waiting outside for ages. But I just get into a big long chat with Niall Quinn, and
Oh my gosh. You chose Niall Quinn over love?
so anyway,
You chose okay, hold up, I'm on her side. Wait a second.
I'm like, Niall, I'm
Wait
here
a
meeting a girl.
second.
I'm here meeting a girl, Niall. You know, and I was like, oh, fair play to you. That's great. I said, can I add me on Instagram there, Niall? And he's like going to him and his daughter run a business together, and great
So you've
chat. with him.
taken this man away from his daughter.
Yeah, so
This poor woman is so excited to see
I
you
know.
outside. And
Yeah,
you're like,
but this-
sorry, there's a former international Ireland soccer player here.
it's like first impressions though, you know,
Yeah.
because I think that like, and then she comes in, I meet her eventually, and she's like, did you not wear deodorant on the plane? Do you not have deodorant? I was like, oh, sorry, like, you know, and they don't sell chewing gum in Orlando Airport either. So
What? Why?
I'm really like conscious about my.
Really?
I probably don't look it right now, but like about my
We're both
hygiene.
melting at this point.
Yeah,
like-
so I'm a hygiene like you know freak. I hate having bad breath or being smelly or anything. But then I hugged her and there was a bit of a bang off me, like you know, bit of a smell. I think whatever. I'd been traveling, and so that kind of started a bit awkward, and it was like the dynamic then started from there. And you see it when you're doing stand up or in any facet of life. If you go for an interview, and you could have been talking to someone for as long as you want without seeing them in person, but that first impression is very important, and it leaves a lasting impression. So like, I think me being like that at the airport and like, it's Niall Quinn's fault basically. I'm saying. But
yeah,
then
blame Niall Quinn.
we did end up staying together, and it went fine, still cordial and everything. But like, this was more like a 9-day fiancé. You know what I mean?
9-day fiance.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But yeah,
Louise.
like there was pillows down the middle of the bed after a few nights. You know?
Oh damn.
Yeah, I was just like, no.
Oh.
Then she was like bringing me around in her car, and I was like, I'm getting my own car now. Like, you know, after about 6 days, I want to do my own thing.
Dang. Yeah.
So then I went off and you know,
What'd you do?
checked the
Disney World?
alligators.
Oh, just checking the alligators.
Yeah.
They probably. I'm sure if you didn't start speaking, they'd think that you were a Florida guy.
Yeah,
Did you
yeah.
have the
I
mullet
think-
then?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
exactly.
I did. It was. I had a great time. Still, she's cool. You know, I still get on with her.
Exactly.
I talk to her every now and then, but
That's nice.
it wasn't meant to be. You know?
There you go. It
Definitely
happens.
not.
Would you go back to America? Would you ever do 90 Day Fiance?
I was asked to be on a show.
What show?
Um,
Can you say?
I actually forget what it's called. It was similar to that though.
Oh,
and I was like,
really?
no, I wasn't in a good headspace to do it at the
Oh.
time. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
Like a Love Abroad or like a
yeah.
Find Me a Patty or something?
Something like
yeah,
that.
Really?
Yeah. And I said no. And also, I was meant to be on first dates as well.
I was on first dates.
Were you?
Yeah, have I ever told
There
you
you
about
go.
that? Yeah, I was
No.
on first dates, so I have some experience with being on a dating reality show.
Wow.
So yeah, exactly. It was
In Ireland?
In Ireland, yeah, I was on an episode. My episode I think is called Raven. Like I was on the episode,
Right.
and I was one of the main people about it. Yeah, we can talk more about it after we go through all the couples, in case you want to add this to bonus episode or like something.
Yeah, I think we'll do a
Exactly.
second episode.
Beautiful.
Actually.
We were just
Yeah.
gonna keep doing 90 Day, but yeah, I was
Yeah.
on first dates. He was a really nice guy. Also, my strap keeps falling off. Whoa, that's for the audience, baby. That's why we wear a t-shirt under this dress, you know. But so, I was on the show. I auditioned for it back in 2024, so they did like a open casting call. And basically, if you're interested in doing first dates, anybody who maybe is like non-Irish but like living in Ireland, you can if you just have a permanent residency. So I was like, oh sweet, I'm gonna apply. Me and the girls, we had a wine night and we wrote like some funny stuff. I think I'm a very strong writer, especially when it comes to comedy or things like that. So I wrote like funny little bios about myself and my love life and like things I'd been through. They called me back. I did like a screen test. I did all kinds of like different questions, answer things on camera. And they were like fantastic. I had a 2.5-hour phone call with the matchmaker, and they like no stone unturned. They were asking me every question possible, to try to find you like an actual good match. And so we go to film the show in August. I had been seeing someone before, but we had broken up just before. And I was like, you know what? Actually, this works to my benefit. I get to be on the show now. And so I went on the show, met your man. Really nice guy. Really nice guy. I think we, because it's different being on camera versus like being yourself off camera. Really nice dude. Connor, if you're watching this, hey, nice dude. All I can say is nice dude, because obviously it didn't work out. But we just had different kind of life goals, and like kind of where we were at in terms of just like chapters of who we were as people. Really? So, I'd recommend him though to anybody. He's a chill guy.
So how did when they ask you at the end, do you want to see each other again?
We both said yes, and we did actually see each other again.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but that's when we kind of learned, like, you know what, we're kind of on different pages. But it was good.
So would you say that one date isn't really enough to know?
I would say one date isn't really enough to know. You need to try 2. Yeah, try 2. Maybe try 9 days in Florida,
Yeah.
Who knows? But, like, no, definitely, like, give it a second, and especially, like, being on camera, too, is very different from just, like, being yourselves in a pub, or just being yourselves at a restaurant. So it's definitely a bit of a different process, but I love doing it because like I'm so familiar with like I mentioned, having gone to film school, having gone to my undergraduate degree, which is in comedy. But like there's a lot of familiarity that I have with like being on camera and like media training, I guess. So like doing stuff like that is like, it comes very easy to me. And they had even said like, Raven, if you ever wanted to come back on the show, like if this doesn't work out, give it another shot. So we'll find out. Hey, first dates people, if you're watching me on this podcast, yeah, sure, send me a message. Yeah. So it was really fun, really good experience. And if anyone's interested in doing it, I can only I can't recommend it more. So yeah, go for it. Be on first dates, Dan.
Yeah, no, I wanted to. Yeah. Then they found someone for me and that, but then they never wanted me back.
What did you do? Oh my god.
Nothing.
They just were like, okay, never mind.
They told me they had a match. I went in and did the pre-interview. Where the stuff is in the background. They had a microphone and everything. They're like, comedy.
Oh my gosh, he's a stand-up comedian, Dan Stevens.
Yeah, so, and then I was like, what's going on here? So I got blanked by first dates.
Dang, what did you say in this interview?
I didn't even get a first date with first dates.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's wild.
It's bad when the show itself blanks you.
The clip that they put of me on social media is one because they were asking me like, oh, what's some like cultural like differences? Like, especially we've been talking about like having different cultures and things. Like, what's some things that like really surprised you when you moved here? And I said like, there's so much slang I didn't know. And I said on there, like, for example, shifting. I didn't know what that was. I thought people were given hand jobs in the club.
Right.
Because shifting, I thought like, because you have to shift the gears.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm like, people are doing crazy things in the club here. And that's a clip that they put on social media. And my parents found it and they were like sending me texts like, Raven, you need to ask them to take this down.
Really?
Because you need to keep your job. Because like in America, they'd be more sensitive about like what's on social media about you. Whereas my coworkers were reposting that. They were like, that's hilarious. That's so funny that you have this thing. Yeah. Even like I had clients when I was working as creative strategist would be like, I saw you on first dates. I was on a first date the other day and he was like, so I've watched you on first dates. I've never seen my own episode.
Oh.
I've never watched it because I had always wanted to like film a reaction YouTube video for it. That I've just literally never gotten around to doing in a year. So maybe I will. Hey, if the people want to see it, I absolutely
you should definitely do that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anyone do that on their own date.
Exactly. Yeah. Watch myself back. I have it's crazy because I have still the dress that I wore on first dates. And that is like, because it is my go-to first date dress. So I was actually wearing it flyering for a comedy club and someone went, were you on RTE? And I was like,
wow.
Yeah, I was on that show. So yeah.
Very good.
But it was a good experience. I definitely recommend.
Yeah. Beautiful. I wanted to do it. I was all for it, but just never got the show. And then the same woman, actually, she must be like a recruiter or something. She messaged me again, asking me to go on the Loves whatever
Love
abroad thing,
yeah,
and
exactly.
I was like, no. Don't want to.
It's interesting because I think so many American women, especially like on TikTok and things, being like, "Come with me to Ireland to find my husband," and I'm like, "Girl, what are you doing? Don't." First of all, never say Ireland because people got up my ass about that when I first moved here. They're like, that's why I always say like Ireland, like when I'm here. And another fellow comedian, Oscar DB, said like, "Why do you say Ireland when you're here?" And I'm like, "Because people ragged on me so much that I changed my accent when trying to say it."
Overcorrected?
She overcorrected.
Yeah.
You know, if you talk to any other comedians, if I'm like out having drinks, sometimes I have a Cork accent, and I actually do know where that came from because I hung out with my mate's dad for like 2 days straight, and he has like a super thick Cork accent, and like. We would just hang out and watch Top Gun and like drink whiskey at Christmas time. And like, that's how I've picked up like a Cork twang sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Interesting.
But listen, enough about us. Why don't we talk about these couples a little bit more?
Sorry, we just had a brief interruption there. The camera, I forgot to plug the camera in. Battery ran out.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, luckily we didn't lose any. We didn't lose anything. We're going to pick up where we left off. I did check the footage, however, and I am sweating profusely. And no matter what I do with my crazy hair, it just, one little bit will stick down. Basically what I'm saying is, if you're listening, you're lucky. If you're viewing, I'd probably just switch to listening.
There we go.
Unless you want to see me, but I'm not struggling. I will say that again.
Not struggling.
Sweating doesn't equal struggling.
Exactly, it doesn't, because you've actually brought up a bunch of like bits for these couples that I have actually forgotten too.
Exactly. So I'm in a good just my body is releasing the excess heat to allow my mind to work at a good level.
Exactly.
And that's what's happening.
Exactly.
Here. All right. So I don't want any of your, I'm just very hurt after I sweated on stage last week, and I blame that for the audience not laughing.
There you go. They were just so taken by how shiny you were. You were reflecting the light. They couldn't actually see your face.
Me trying to be all chilled with my jokes, and then because my persona on stage is pretty chilled.
Yeah.
But then you're just sweating profusely, and they're like, "What is going on here?" Anyway, enough about that. I believe we've done. Am I right in saying we've done 3 couples so far?
We've done 3 couples.
And a bit of other stuff that we've...
Yeah, we've talked about ourselves.
Yeah, exactly, a little bit. Get people to know Raven and myself a bit more.
That's right.
I don't think we're going to get through all 8 here.
No, that's
There's
a lot.
8 in total,
There's
right?
8 in total.
So I think we'll do one more, and then we'll go for a part 2 if you'd be interested.
Yeah, absolutely, 1,000%.
Brilliant.
There you go. Because I think a lot of these couples, they deserve their justice. Like, we really got to get into the nitty gritty of some of these people.
Exactly.
So should I tell you what couples we have left, and you can decide which one we'll do?
Yeah, go for it.
Beautiful. All right, so cool. We have a couple of couples left. Nice. She's never coming back to the pod. She's gone. So we have a couple of couples left. We have Aviva and Steak in Belize. We have Elise and Josh in Australia. We have Laura and Birkan from Turkey. We have Rick and Trisha in Madagascar. Pretty good one. Ooh. And then we have Forrest and Sheena from the Philippines. Those are the 5 that we have left. We'll do one more, and then we'll take the other 4 in another episode.
Yeah, we'll do one more. Before we do, if you want to be updated, if you want to get notifications for the latest episodes, please follow on Spotify and rate 5 stars if you've enjoyed this. There's a big backlog of episodes as well. I think this is going to be episode number 191.
Woo, 191 Fiancé.
Very nice. So yeah, and if you're on YouTube, just like, subscribe, share. If you're on Spotify, YouTube, Apple, whatever, get the word out there to any other 90 Day Fiancé fanatics.
And any American women who want to go out with Dan and be on the 90 Dan Fiancé podcast. He's here, and he's very nice.
Yeah, and very sweaty. I don't always sweat like this. Just when I'm concentrating.
That's right.
So, okay, I want to... First of all, before we choose the next couple, I want to know... You have a favourite couple, right?
I do. I have a favourite couple.
I have a favourite couple. I have a feeling we both have the same favourite couple. We were going to say it before the podcast.
Yes, but then we decided we were going to hold off.
Yeah. So I think we'll do it now. Just so, because I want to keep them for the second.
Yes, totally.
Second segment. Probably keep them to last, in my mind.
We have to.
On 3, I'm going to say my favourite couple. You say your favourite couple.
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
So it'll be 1, 2, 3 couple, right?
Got it. Okay, cool.
1, 2, 3.
Forrest and Sheena. Yes. Oh my God, so good. And personally, best favorite couple and villain of the season. I mean, we have to. And the same 90-day scenario.
Yes.
Literally.
All right.
I don't think in my 10 years of viewing I've seen someone as vicious as Molly. I will go to bat for Sheena any day. I will go to bat for Sheena and Forrest, and you're gonna need to hear more about this on part 2.
Part 2, yeah, absolutely. Now I think if you're giving me the choice of the next couple to go with, I'd like to talk about Aviva and Stig in Belize.
Sounds like a good one. As actually, this it made me think, like, especially with like this Belize couple, like I wonder if like 90 Day is getting a bit more kind of touristy. Did you notice that this season? Like, there's a lot of like they're doing activities, or they're doing different, like they're going to different places, and it's starting to make me wonder if maybe they're sponsored by like a visit whatever country that they're in, like Visit Belize,
or
like
a travel agency or something.
Yeah, exactly. Or like
I wonder, are they?
Yeah, like Marrakesh Tourism Marrakesh, or something. Because like, especially with like even like Emma and Ziad, who we talked about earlier, like they're going to a cooking class, or they're staying in like the Bedouin place, and like I've watched the show for 10 years. I don't remember it being as heavy on the like tourism-y parts, but especially with like being in Belize with Aviva and Stig, like watching them made me be like, oh, should I go to Belize? Should I have a girls' holiday there? I think it was really evident to me when they were all sitting at this one bar, and the waitress came up and was like, and here's your frozen strawberry daiquiri, and it's like all pretty and presentable, and she puts it down, and she kind of made a statement about it, and I was like, this is making me think that this is maybe tied in with like a tourism type thing.
It makes sense, and it would be smart.
Yeah, no,
I mean, it ties in perfectly.
Exactly.
And especially if you're really enjoying the show, you're going to be in like a good mood, and you're going to be like, it might be making you feel like that you want to fall in love or whatever. I think, and there's a term that I learned recently.
What'd you learn?
B-roll.
B-roll, yeah.
Do you know what that is?
Of course I do. I studied film. You shoot the extra bits.
Yeah, and the B-roll on that is like, so it's basically the bits where it's not talking bits, and it's like just scenic shots.
Exactly.
And a lot of that looks like a tourism ad.
That's what I mean. Like with Aviva and Stig specifically, they go to this one bar where it's like you sit in the ocean and they bring you a drink and a coconut. I was like, I don't know if a local is going to take someone to there unless they're like visiting, you know what I mean? So it felt very like I said, Visit Belize. But so Aviva and Stig are our final couple of this episode. So Aviva is, according to my notes, a 26-year-old from Arizona, and Stig is a 30-year-old from Belize. Now, they had met online because Aviva actually has a family connection to Belize, and that her Aunt Spring, which again is a crazy name for a white person, and that's coming from a white person named Raven, but like Aunt Spring had a Belizean husband who ends up getting thrown in prison while he's with another woman, and so she breaks up with him. But she'd been living in Belize for 20 years. So Aviva, of course, is coming down multiple times to, be in Belize and like visit her family. She posts a picture of herself online, and that's when Stig slides into those DMs with a waving emoji.
Wow.
Yeah. And they start DMing, they're chatting for a little while, I believe. I think it's actually like a couple of years, kind of on and off and things. And so she decides that she is going to visit Stig because she's ready to lock this man down.
He's a famous celebrity.
Exactly. He's a famous celebrity in Belize.
A rapper.
And she wants to be with her like rapper man, So I think the thing with Aviva is I really feel like she is attracted to like the celebrity kind of aspect of it, so she really like wants to lock this guy down, so that there's kind of this element of like, ooh, I'm the one who like locked down this big time celebrity in Belize, and it really feels like they're trying to set him up in the show too, like he's gonna blow up in America, like he's the next big guy, that he's
pretty good though. It shows like
good.
A snippet of his concerts. He's very charismatic and very very good music. I think one way to not sum up the dynamic, but of how it gets started, is that she's leaving to go to Belize, and she asks him, does he want anything from the US? And he says, oh, I really love that Chinese food over there.
Which is crazy.
So she gets a Chinese takeaway, puts it in a plastic box, and brings it in her hand luggage. And he'd actually said, if you bring me Chinese food, I'll marry you.
I was just about to ask if you remember what he had said about the Chinese food, literally.
So she brings it all the way over to Belize from Arizona in a takeaway box, and spills it on her legs and everything on the plane. It spills all over her bag, and she presents it to him at the airport then.
And she's like, ring time.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, thank you, I'm gonna eat that now. And she's like, I wouldn't eat that, it's been out a long time.
Exactly, it's been out for a long time.
So they throw it in the bin, but she's like, I know I'm throwing that away, but you said if I brought it, you'd marry me. So
and she's like,
that's at the airport,
constantly trying to like lock him down, she's like She's trying to talk like marriage. She's trying to talk proposal. She's talking like having a baby.
Immediately.
Like immediately. Like they're ready to get it on and like have a kid. It's crazy. Like they're messing around. Like they're not using protection. They're not being smart. And the thing about Stig, right, is that he's like ladies' man, right? So he's written a song called Nikki, and that's like his big song. And it's about that, like, his character or him, he's like a barman, and he meets a married woman, and he's like, Nikki,
Nikki's a brand of toilet roll, in Ireland.
Is it?
Super value. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Not bad.
There you go. Well, if you
ply.
have too many Guinnesses, you'll need the Nikki as well.
3-ply.
3-ply. Dang, that's how you know it's quality.
Could be 2. I don't
Dan's
know.
buying the 3-ply. American ladies, right into the Dan Stevens show.
But anyway.
There you go. To be on 90 Dan Fiancé.
There was another similar thing with what's his name? The other rapper.
Oh, Soulja Boy.
Yeah, he had a song called Sarah.
Yes.
That made his partner jealous in the other season. But anyway, it's just a recurring theme of it's a rapper, and the rapper has a song about another woman, and it's planting seeds of jealousy in the American woman immediately.
Pretty much.
And she wants answers about who's that song about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so the rumor was, according to Aunt Spring, that someone had seen Stig with this woman that Nikki was written about, and that after the show they went off together. So what does that mean? Now Aunt Spring kind of has this like mob wife kind of vibe.
She's
like
very
the whole
scary.
time she's got the longest platinum ponytail that you've ever seen. She is like locked and loaded, and she's looking out for Aviva. She's like, Aviva, like, don't trust this guy. He's a player. Everybody knows that he's like a player, so you just got to watch your back. But she's so obsessed with him being a celebrity. She's like, okay. And then all her talking heads, she's like, I don't know what Aunt Spring has to worry about,
Aunt Spring is like, she has a bee in her bonnet about Belizean men.
Exactly.
Anyway, because she had a bad experience.
Yeah,
so she's extra protective of Aviva.
Exactly. So she had that experience, but she still also has like all her connections in Belize. She lived there for 20 years, So basically the two of them get together. They're trying to like have this baby and stuff, but then like they go to a concert of his, right? And like women are twerking on him and stuff. And he starts singing Nikki. And she's like, I don't like this.
Her phone.
She goes on her phone. And he doesn't see the problem because he's like, why would she go on her phone? What the heck? While I'm singing about another woman while this one's dancing on me, kind of a thing. And she's like, I just can't look at this right now, so I'm just going to go on my phone. And so they get into an argument about this afterwards because he's like, how embarrassing for me as like a creative that you would go on your phone during the show. And she's like, I don't want to hear you talk about banging another woman like while this other woman again is dancing on you. So that's when he decides that he's like not gonna give her a baby, so they start using protection.
They go shopping for Johnny's.
They go shopping for Johnny's, which is crazy. There's actually, we're gonna talk about the Johnny
from little
talk.
Johnny to Johnny's.
We're going to talk about Johnny's in the next episode as well, because there's a big thing with one of the couples and their mom in their sex life. We're going to talk about that in part 2. But so they're starting to get along a bit more. Like after this scenario, now it upsets Aviva that he now has doubts about their marriage, and it's messing with her head. So they go to meet up with Aunt Stig and Corinth, the niece of Aunt Stig. And they're meeting up at Corinth's bar.
Aunt Spring.
Aunt Spring. Sorry, what was I calling her? Sprig?
Stig.
I was calling her Aunt Stig. Spring and Stig, they're almost the same letters.
Yeah.
Exactly. But so Aunt Spring and Corinth, the niece of Aunt Spring.
Yeah. They're standing on business.
They're standing on business. I taught Dan this word
I don't know what
backstage.
it means.
Standing on business is like you're standing up for yourself,
right.
Yeah.
And
the theme of this couple is also girls stand up. Girls stand up. What are you doing? Because we're about to get into the drama. Basically, Corinth and Aunt Spring are like, well, Aunt Spring specifically is like, hey Stig, why don't we get some drinks for the group at the bar together alone? Because she has some stuff that she wants to talk about. So she and Stig go up to the bar, and she's like, Stig, I know that you've been messing around. I know. And he's like, huh? What? Why would you think that? Why would you know that? And she's like, because Corinth's friend said that you took her to Placencia, and she flips her phone around, shows him the picture of like, this is the picture of like you guys in Placencia, and he's like, that's just a super fan. That's just a super fan. And she's like, this is not a super fan. They're like, someone has texted multiple times to Corinne, like, oh yeah, Stig's my man. And she literally said, Corinne texts her like, who is this? And she's like, my man happens.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa. And he's like, well, like, I never told her I love her. And kudos on the editor, because he's like, I never told her I love her. It cuts immediately to a text that says, I'ma love you forever.
Yeah.
Crazy good. There's another really good editing thing that we'll talk about in part 2 that I found hilarious when it comes to Rick and Trisha.
Yeah.
But so he's like, no, she's just a super fan. And also, where'd you get that photo and who sent that to you? You know, because he took this friend to Placencia, you know, which is another like beach town, kind of vacation town for couples.
Right.
You know, and so Aunt Spring is like, Stig, I'm going to give you a choice. Your choice is I can tell Aviva or you can tell Aviva. She's going to get told. And Aviva's all at the table being like, what's happening? I like
she's
don't
sitting
understand.
out the back in the smoking area.
Exactly. She's out the back of the smoking area, just like drinking her like frozen mojito, being like, I don't know what's happening, but it feels weird that like people don't put me in the convo. Like, what's happening? And Corinne comes over too, because Stig is like, nah, that's photoshopped. And Corinne's like, why would my friend lie to me? Like, there's no reason for her to lie to me. So what happens is, after that goes on, Stig decides he is going to come clean. And by that, I mean completely lied to Aviva the whole time. And he's like, so they go to that bar, the one that sat in the water with their coconuts. And he's like, look, girl, like, you might be hearing some stuff about me from, like, your Aunt Spring, but, like, she's probably just jealous that you've got, like, a great thing going on with a great Belizean man, you know, which is me. I wrote that song about how I want to get you pregnant, which was crazy. Remember that, girl? And she's like, yeah, I loved my song. It was so good. And he's like, yeah, so you're going to hear these things about this super fan that claims like I'm with her, that like we're doing things together, but that truly that picture is just like a fan, and she's a super fan. She's crazy, like she's a crazy girl. She doesn't have any kind of like say in our relationship and stuff. And Aviva's like, I don't know why Stig would lie to me. And she wrote down, I specifically said, she's like, yeah, it sounds like she's just like a casual girl. She's not serious like me. Yeah. So already, okay, so Aviva is willing to kind of like do mental gymnastics to like stay with this guy, which is, girl, stand up, like you're literally being shown proof that you're being cheated on.
Yeah.
So there comes a point where he might be having another concert or something, but it's just now her, Aunt Spring, and Corinne. And they're like, so he told you, right? And she's like, he did tell me, and I trust him and love him. It was just a super fan.
I think he's doing everything but saying that he's not a one-woman man. Basically. Everything he does says that he's not a one-woman man, but he just won't say it, but she won't get the hint. Exactly. So he never wanted to settle down.
He never did.
He wants to live that lifestyle, and he basically warned her as well at the start. He's like, there's going to be a lot of women around. There's going to be a lot of you might feel jealous, but you're my girl. That's what he'd always say to her, like,
Yeah, you're
so
my girl. So
he'd always preface it with that there will be a lot of other women around. But basically, this was to help with what he knew was coming, I think, from Aunt Spring. Exactly. Because it puts in her head that, there's just a lot of women around anyway. So then a photo of him with a woman, she's just like, he told me there was going to be a lot of women around. He gets his photos. I think he knew this was coming.
I actually, that you're totally right. Because this conversation happens, right? And Corinne is like, this is my friend. Why would my friend lie? Like, she has no reason to. And Aviva's like, no, she wants to lie because he's a big celebrity. And it's like... He's a big celebrity for Belize, He's a big Belize celebrity. So Corinne's like, all right, shall we just call her? So they call up the friend, and the friend picks up and is like, hey, girl, what's going on? And she's like, yeah. So when were you with Stig last? And she's like, about a month ago. And it's happening. And she's like, yeah. And in fact, I'm about to see him again. I'm seeing him from Friday to Sunday. What day does Aviva leave Belize? She leaves Friday morning. So he's about to rock up to his other chick in Placencia and see that. And Aunt Spring is like, Aviva, open your eyes. Yes. And Aviva's like, no. She just like fully is like, no, I don't think so. I think maybe this girl is just like crazy girl. And they both kind of just like give up. They're like, okay, girl, you're going to do this.
I think they call it cognitive dissonance.
Exactly.
I think that's she knows exactly what's going on, but refuses to... she doesn't want to face the consequences of reality.
Exactly. So she can't see through all those eyelashes.
Prefers to live in her own reality.
Exactly.
It's a shame because she seems like a really nice girl.
Yeah.
And they do have a moment as well where they climb this mountain and he proposes to her.
I would actually like to bring that up because they technically don't climb it. He proposed her at the bottom of the stairs. Did you see that?
Yeah, sorry. They don't climb up.
They just approach the ruins and she's like, okay, climbing up time. And he's like, baby,
at the bottom of the mountain.
At the bottom of the, I was like,
thing.
the bottom?
Yeah.
I was like, at least climb up the thing.
Yeah.
Like, come on. And so he's like, baby, I love you, and I got you this ring, And she's like, yeah. Which is funny, because then the next shot is them at the top. So I don't know why he couldn't just wait to get to the top.
Maybe that was symbolic.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But also, I think he just didn't want to walk.
Yeah.
I think he just didn't want to climb that mountain. Much like Stig's actual relationships, he don't want to climb. He doesn't want to go there.
I remember thinking at the time, though, they're really in love now. I thought that was it. And they did go into a time where they were just like, whatever way they edited it, or whatever way it was, they made it look like, wow, they're strongly in love with each other now. But then, yeah, I guess they...
It's like 3 months later, we cut to her crying in her,
a really dramatic shot.
The really dramatic shot of her, like,
Yeah, she's in bits. Like,
she's in bits.
She's emotionally, like, she's like, I don't even care about the makeup anymore. Just, and she's like, I
thought it was forever.
She can't even say it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, did someone die?
Yeah, I literally, I'm like, what happened?
Yeah. Because the last thing you knew, they were madly in love, and the two of them are crying at the airport.
Yes.
When she's been dropped off.
But at the same time, did you notice that he's leaving for the airport, and then he's like, I'm gonna go to Houston, and I'm gonna have a great time. He's like, I'm gonna move to Arizona, but I think Houston's more for me, and like the music scene. I saw that, and I actually, you know what? I felt bad for her being in bits, but I was like, oh, this isn't gonna work out. And then of course she gets on. She's upset. She's like, Stig called off the engagement. What had happened was, she's like, he just changed so much after the trip. He did come to Arizona to visit her. They saw his family in Houston, so she's like introduced to the whole crowd. And then he went back to Belize, and she goes like, he just started acting so different because he went back to his philandering ways. He went back to his lady man ways. And she texts him like, please just break up with me. And it's like, oh, girl. And that goes back to like, the women on the season are just so insecure that she needs him to break up with her.
I know.
For her. And he texts back like, okay, sorry, maybe we should just call it.
Yeah.
Crazy. And then they get on the tell-all, and they're just still done. You know?
Yeah. It was over. So yeah, that was, I guess, 1 out of those 4 only lasted.
Exactly.
Is that right?
I believe so. So Emma and Ziad did not last. They're gone. Jovan and Annalyn. They lasted. Lisa and Daniel, nope. And cursed, apparently. And Aviva and Stig also didn't last.
Kaput.
So that's 1 out of 4.
1 out of 4. We got 4 to go. We're going to definitely do a follow-up episode. I love talking about this stuff.
Me too.
Obviously, I'm thinking, like, I always have doubt in any podcast that I do, where I'm like, is us just describing the episode interesting? Well, I guess we're going to see if people listen to it.
I listen back to my own voice notes like it's a podcast. I mean, I think I'm interesting.
Yeah.
There you go. But no, I think there's so much in 90 Day that's why I've watched it for the last 10 years, is there's always something new to find.
I think if people watch it and then listen to this or watch this, it'll be very interesting.
Exactly.
Or else maybe you don't even need to watch it anymore. We're explaining it to you.
Just hear Dan and Raven talk about it. It's awesome. You've
exactly.
basically gotten all the drama, all the tea, without having to sit through commercial breaks and, the boring couples, apparently.
Yes, exactly. All right, well, we'll leave it there. This has been great fun. I can't wait we'll record
me too.
episode 2 soon. And this 90 Day Fiancé thing, just fascinating.
It's so good. I like I said, I'm crazy about it. I don't think there's any other reality TV show that compares for me.
Yeah.
Like I can never get into like Love Island. I can never get into like Love is Blind. Like I just feel like it's too gamified. This feels like, sometimes I feel like people are performing for the camera, and we'll talk about who that is in my mind in the next episode. But this one just feels more real, or like you don't know what's around the corner, and it's so interesting. And also like Sean Robinson, who hosts the Tell All, what a classy lady. Do you know how old she is?
No.
She's in her 60s.
Is she?
Yeah.
Wow.
And she looks stunning like that.
Yeah.
You know why? Because she stays out of the drama, but she hosts it.
Third wig? No?
There you go. More wigs.
It's not a wig, is it?
That's not a wig, no.
Okay. I don't remember what she looks like.
She's the very beautiful, slim black.
She does not look like she's in her 60s.
Right? That's what I mean.
Jesus Christ.
So good.
All right.
Dan, any closing remarks on our first episode of 90 Day and Fiancé?
Enjoyed it. It's been brilliant. You absolutely prepared so well.
Thank you so much.
How long did you take preparing for this?
Okay, so obviously I watched the full first season, and then all these notes happened over the course of this morning. What had happened was I basically took all the clips. I put every episode on 3 times speed and was like, just to recall, like, this person, that, this happened there. And just anything that came up for me as I was like, seeing for the episode. Like I wrote, girl, stand up several times. It's like, girls, just stand up for yourself. Don't make a man break up with you. When the trash takes itself out, you don't go chasing the garbage man.
There you go.
Bye.
I like it.
There
Never
you go.
heard that expression
That's right.
before.
Another inspiraven moment for the
Yeah,
audience.
very good. All right.
Beautiful.
We'll leave it there, Raven. Thanks very much.
you. Absolutely.
Where can people find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at That's Quite Raven. I perform stand-up all over the country. I get to say that now because I've done Dublin, I've been in Mullingar, I've done Offaly, and I believe I'm doing Ennis at the end of July.
Very good.
So very exciting stuff. So you
Going
can always
places.
catch me. She's going places so long as they are in the Republic of Ireland.
Yes. And yeah, you've also, you're going to help me out a bit with some of my...
Absolutely.
I'm no expert at doing podcasting, whatever that means. I mean, everyone's a podcaster now. Anyone can be. But Raven is... So what's your qualification, your job?
Yeah, so job? What a great question, Dan. Thanks so much. So
What's your expertise?
There you go. So my expertise is I actually used to work in podcasting back in Los Angeles. So I was an intern at Earwolf. Loved it so much, and then I worked at another podcast studio. I moved here to do my master's degree. Welcome back to my CV. And then I went into working in digital marketing after doing my own TikTok series, which I became mildly micro celebrity for, as I mentioned at the top of the podcast. But I love what I do, which is like getting to make really fun social media content for all kinds of people, and
great.
being, on camera, off camera, behind computer. It's just really fun for me. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's great to have you involved. Great to have you here. Thanks very much for doing this. Appreciate it. Thanks for all your great preparation and your great
you.
commentary. We're looking forward to episode 2.
Beautiful.
I'm
Me too.
looking forward to making it. Hopefully I won't be as sweaty.
There you go. Well, we'll get some ice packs next time.
I don't mind really. It's just like, it's nice weather, isn't it?
It's very nice. So you have a gig tonight at the Inter. I have a gig in a bar smoking area having a pint. So
Where?
there you go. I'm gonna find out from my friend later tonight. So we're gonna have a little
very
girls'
good.
drink and catch up. So
Very good.
it'll be great.
All right. Well, thanks very much for watching and listening. This has been the Dan Stevens Show with Raven.
Woo!
See you again on the next one. Thank you.
See
Goodbye.
you. Bye bye.